Hello and welcome to Short End of the Pick with Richard and Kurt. This week we're changing things up, and Richard will be doing the introduction. I hope you all are doing well. We got a lot to talk about this week. We've got coronavirus still in the news. What the heck? Harvey Weinstein, guilty. Nevada caucuses and South Carolina primaries coming up around the corner here. We have spring training for the MLB. In 30 days, the season's opening up. We have EPL Week 28. We have the Bucks clinching the playoffs in the NBA. And we have the stock market doing a little what's going on today. And we also have, believe it or not, a hawk snatches a poodle. Good ending to that story. So,
hawk?
Yeah, a little hawk. Kurt, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing perfectly well. So we always talk about, I always like to think about this when we come in. We're always talking about what the picks are. But I also do like to get a little bit of hint on what's going on in your life because I didn't see you all last week. So yeah, what were you up to, man?
Yeah, I was out of town. I was at a wedding for a good friend of mine. But it was in an area. I got to see my whole family and everything, while I was over there. So
fun. Did you guys do anything fun while you were out
went
there?
Back home.
Anything unique?
I mean, we did the whole bachelor party thing. We combined it with the wedding week. So we did the laser tag and the strippers. No, I'm just kidding. We didn't do strippers, but just a lot of guy stuff.
You did it with the boys.
Yep.
You know what Saturdays are for? Saturdays for the boys.
Have you ever played poker before?
Not well.
You're not a good poker player?
Nah, I'm okay. I can compete.
See, they played poker, and I tried it a little bit, and I wasn't that good.
Did you win?
No, I didn't.
Any
win.
hands?
No.
Oh. So I guess you weren't that good.
No, I mean, I made it through, we started with 10 guys at the table in our biggest game. So, I mean, 10 guys.
It's a pretty
There's
big...
a 1 in 10 chance you're going to win.
Yeah.
But, if you can make it halfway through, which I was around there.
That's a big game, though, to be playing as a newcomer.
Took a few hours.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, I didn't do too much. I just hung around here. I went and I made a little red snapper dish this weekend. It was pretty delicious. But, yeah, I haven't done too much. Just chilled, It was beautiful weather down here in sunny Fort Lauderdale.
You were doing all the work while I was away?
Yeah, work, quote unquote.
Well, yeah, I was at a beautiful wedding and had a good weekend. Excellent.
Alrighty, well, I don't want to cut the chit chat up here, but we're gonna move right on in here, right into
Look at
Bing.
this. They know that I'm looking up this stuff.
Oh, you're on the interwebs, and they've got the what do they call those cookies where they monitor what you
Yeah.
Yeah, monitor what you search.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Oh, hey, I mean that's what advertisers do. Anyway, we're moving into Bing Sports. I'm done with you. All right, Bing News, I should say. And we are going to start as we have for the last 4 weeks in a row now with coronavirus.
Yeah.
Again, and the only reason I do that because one of our other big stories mentioned at the top of the episode here was the stock market. We had a huge precipitous drop, and a lot of people are talking about confidence in the Asia markets and Asia trade lines just not being super strong after seeing a little bit of an outbreak in East Asia. I'm going to try and pull up some numbers here, but do you have any initial thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think Europe also had a few more cases that people are just not sure that this thing's contained. And it's starting to enter that pandemic type realm where there's just so many thousands. You can lock down all the people you want, but once 75,000 people have had this thing, I mean, there's people leaking out. And every person that has it that's out in the real world, it's a multiplicative thing,
Yeah, I heard something like every person that has it spreads it to 2 point something people, and that just it's just explosive after, if you can keep it to the first couple of thousand, maybe that's something, but you're starting to get into the range of, all right, it's going to start kind of spiraling out of control. I think one of their biggest talking points about this and one of their biggest fears is that you can spread it without showing any symptoms. Yeah. So you don't even know you have it and you're sharing it with other people. And it sticks to the water particles in the air and just floats on through and gets you. It's just it's kind of sketchy in that sense.
And it's breaking up it's affecting travel, it's affecting tourism. Think about all these industries, if you can't move goods and you can't move people around as quickly as possible, flushing people through, no, that's all shutting down. We're scanning every single person who passes through an airport terminal with a thermometer. You know what I mean? So it's like everything's going to get slowed down. Travel, tourism, all those kind of industries are going to take a huge hit for the quarter, for the, who knows, half a year. So that's why it's, affecting a lot of people's lives, and it's affecting the market.
Yeah, I'm reading right now. It says, I don't know who said this, but this is coming out of CBS News. Quote, this is not like the seasonal. So this is, I should preface this. This is probably from some authority on this. So I don't know the exact details, but it says this is not like the seasonal flu. Seasonal flu kills 650,000 people every year worldwide, which is kind of a lot. 45,000 to 50,000 people in the U.S. alone. This is more dangerous because it has a higher case fatality rate, because it spreads more quickly, because it shows up in a disruptive way. Yeah. So it's not like as it is now, as it stands today. It's not as deadly as the flu is, just from a numbers basis, from like a raw total, but it's just so. It's like wildfire catching really quickly, and it has a higher fatality rate.
Yeah, slightly higher. Those symptoms, it's the fluid in the lungs that builds up. That's the real differentiation from what I've heard between the flu and this. It's not like Ebola where it's causing you to bleed out of your ears and stuff like that. It's not like rotting your insides, but it causes a buildup of fluid in the lungs, kind of like pneumonia. Mm-hmm. It makes it really tough for certain people to handle that. Especially if they have other conditions in the background, health conditions. So
yeah,
that's why it becomes slightly more deadly than the flu.
Yeah, just talking about it gives me like a little tickle in the back of my throat, like just thinking about it. But I mean, it's impacting a lot of things, and most of that is coming in the form of how people can transport, and that has implications on labor, on goods.
Yeah. Think about our economy right now. Our economy is all about getting people and goods quickly. Like it's a logistics economy, global economy at least. And when you push a domino down in that system, think about if one plane gets delayed, it sets off a chain reaction. So it's like when you have to slow everything down, yeah, it's a huge impact.
Yeah, for sure. Alrighty, we'll move right into the next one. Harvey Weinstein. So for those of you that have your head in a hole, Harvey Weinstein, it must have been a couple of years ago now, was accused of he had allegations about sexual assault, even rape, and recently he was convicted on
he was a big film producer, right?
Oh, yeah. So
he was in the film industry?
Yeah, I don't know exactly what he did. I mean, if you ever watched a movie and sometimes they have the Weinstein Company, I think that was his production company.
Pulp Fiction.
Uh-huh. Heavenly Creatures. I've never heard of that. Shakespeare in Love.
Some of these,
I've heard of that.
Yeah, some big ones. Anyway,
so the big production person, big Hollywood individual. This was kind of like connected to the Me Too movement. People were saying that this culture, this kind of culture in Hollywood, I think in particular. So they're kind of bringing it to light, like he was their cornerstone case, and a court recently, just today, found him guilty on 2 counts. I think the first count was sexual assault of one of his producers. I don't have the story open right this instant. And then the second count was 3rd-degree rape of another individual. I think unnamed individual for that one. But to be honest with you,
so are these the verdicts about the allegations that came out in 2017, or is this a new round of verdicts? I don't know a ton about the whole scandal.
No, I think this is this has to do with the same thing. I mean, this was like a
This is the fallout.
This is like chronic in, according to the reports and stuff. This was like a chronic thing that was happening under his watch or something like that. I mean, allegedly, I don't know. I mean, obviously not allegedly anymore. He was convicted on 2 counts, but
it says he's cleared of the most serious counts of predatory sexual assault.
Yeah.
So, but he still faces up to 25 years in prison. He's still facing more charges.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah, this was just New York City. So he's got other ones he's facing charges of assaulting 2 women in 2013 in Los Angeles.
These
are
much
other
better
things.
examples. Good Will Hunting and the King's Speech.
Oh yeah, Good Will Hunting and the King.
Anyway.
What happened in New York courts? Can you scroll down? Oh yeah, jury of 7 men, 5 women found on Monday. after 5 days of deliberation. Wow, okay, so they went at it for a little bit there, back and forth.
And a lot of charges.
Yeah, I'm sure that I'm pretty sure I read this, but I would be surprised if they didn't appeal this. I don't know what their intents are because I'm pretty sure I read that, but I don't want to spread misinformation or anything like that. But why wouldn't you appeal this? It would make no sense to not appeal this.
I don't know how it works, but he denied all the charges.
Yeah.
So he wasn't trying to take a plea on anything. Anyway, what's next?
Yeah, sorry. So that's just in the news. Alrighty, I guess we'll move into Nevada caucuses. So this was one we actually have a pick for, so we can kind of like chat about that a little bit. But Nevada caucus results came in Saturday, and Bernie Sanders won again. So this will be his second in a row, and he takes the delegate lead, and he won pretty handily in Nevada. I don't know what the exact percentages were, but I know he picked up a bunch of delegates on everybody else, and he took a pretty commanding lead there. I mean, again, we said this the last few caucuses and primaries. This is still really early in the election process. I think you need something like 1,500 delegates to win, or 1,500 something.
He didn't really win the New Hampshire by delegates, but
Yeah, he won by the vote, and I think that's a big deal for the Bernie Sanders campaign, though, is to say that I'm the more popular candidate, just from a number standpoint too. I think that's still pretty important for them. Joe Biden finally finishes in the top 2. This is, but by a pretty distant second. I'm looking at the numbers right now, and that says
that's still big for him. He needed those. 9 delegates.
Yeah.
How many did he have before that?
Only like 2 or 3, maybe.
Because I don't think he got any in.
Yeah. Well, it shows if
Iowa.
you click that button there and you can scroll down to the bottom.
Oh.
Is this Bing? Yeah. Scroll down to the bottom. There you go. Yeah. So before he had only a handful.
2.
Well, it says 15 there now. So.
Oh.
So he had a bunch before. Oh, there it is. He added.
No.
No, he added. Probably added like. Oh well, he got 9. So 9 minus 15 is what he had before.
Apparently,
6.
he didn't get them from New Hampshire.
So he had 6 from before. Anyway.
It's really big for him. Look at
Yeah, but he needed a top 2 finish because we were talking about this last week too. He has been on this mantra that he's going to perform a lot better in the more ethnically and demographically diverse states, and
especially African American.
Yeah, and so we have Nevada, which I think is Hispanic, heavily Hispanic, a lot more African American, and then now South Carolina, which he's been calling his firewall for a while.
Obviously, South Carolina was his to lose, from the get.
Yeah.
He wasn't so strong in Iowa and New Hampshire.
Yeah, no, I think that
from the beginning.
Yeah, and they were trying to downplay it. Credit to his campaign personnel that were saying, listen, I think that everyone's overhyping. They're expecting a huge blowout, and then everyone's going to be stunned when he doesn't do particularly well. We're looking at we're not telling ourselves that we're going to be doing particularly amazing in these first 2 states. Like the ball's not going to get rolling until we actually hit the demographic base of the Democratic Party.
Who did you say was going to win Nevada?
Nevada. I said officially Joe.
You said Klobuchar would have a strong.
Yeah, no, I was just that was. I always got to throw my little jokey one in there.
So you thought Biden would have a good.
I thought
would win.
Yeah, I was hoping that he'd win. Not that I care, but it just felt like to me that like if he was gonna do something, and I said this last time too, he needs a first or a second place finish. A first obviously would do him a lot better, but if he wants to even be a name in the rest of this race, he's got to win. He's got to be coming in at least the top couple of candidates, because I guess the big tell is going to be South Carolina coming up, which we can talk about a little bit.
Well, yeah,
but
Super Tuesday.
But that my pick. Well, I don't know who did you end up picking for?
I picked Sanders.
Yeah.
I knew that Sanders would do good out west.
Yeah.
West is is really his strong suit. Because they're really far left over there in the West. Nevada, among the Hispanic voters, I just think that his message plays well among minorities, Hispanic minorities especially.
Yeah.
Less so among African Americans. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's just a Biden thing.
Yeah.
Because Biden's more, what did we say yesterday? Establishment. That's just the way some voters go.
You're definitely right about that.
The Hispanic voters are not as much establishment as much as black voters are.
Yeah.
So
I think that West, the point as the West being a lot more progressive.
They got tons of people that have moved from California to Nevada in the last few years.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Bernie just does well in those more progressive areas, those more progressive states. You know, the southern states, like Super Tuesday states in South Carolina, those are not, the Democrats there are not necessarily progressive Democrats. Mm-hmm. You know, they're more central, establishment type.
Yeah, so you think that, so I guess this will bring us into this little bit of the conversation, because we want to make another prediction for next week as well, because the what is it called, South Carolina primary, I think this one's a primary, so this was a caucus where they have to go out and caucus and do the whole get in a group and then count how many people and then 15% move up or whatever the process is for that. But I'm pretty sure South Carolina is just a raw vote total. Who do you think pulls out ahead of that one?
I have to go Biden, and it's actually, I'm tempted to say Sanders is going to even win South Carolina just because he did so well in Nevada. But look at Pete Buttigieg. I mean, he's going to lose a ton of votes, when he goes to a state like South Carolina for reasons that people have talked about already. So all the people that voted for Buttigieg, like in Nevada and New Hampshire or Iowa, they're going to be voting for Biden. So just take Buttigieg's votes and add them to Biden's, and that's where you're at, minus the political stances of the region. So, I mean, I think that you're going to have some voting consolidation. It's going to push Biden over the top. He's going to be in a much friendlier state to his name. But I would not be shocked if Sanders upset Biden here.
So I guess I'm just going to talk about this because we're not going to hear too much from him in South Carolina because I don't think he's on the ballot. But what are your thoughts on Bloomberg entering the race? Is he going to be able to catch up to everybody with a 4-state deficit? He's coming in Super Tuesday, basically trying to win a couple of states. I mean, how hard is that for him to try and win?
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for him to win outright. I mean, the delegates from the 4 states are not huge, but there is a come from behind type thing that it's going to be tough to overcome. The trouble's going to be if Sanders keeps his momentum rolling. Now, if Sanders dies on Super Tuesday and loses momentum, it's going to be a lot easier for Bloomberg to pick up the slack. But at the same token, the only way Sanders can lose momentum is if Biden's the one knocking him out, like in South Carolina. I don't know. I mean, I guess when he comes in Super Tuesday, he could come in roaring. I see him traditionally, what people have been saying is he's playing for the brokered convention. But, where no one wins the majority of super delegates.
Yeah. How does that end up?
Let me show you something.
How does that end up going? Like,
I don't know.
Who decides?
Oh, well, okay. I'm sure that they have a process.
It's like a majority, and then but if you get a so if no one has an outright majority, then they get to vote on it or something like that.
I think
like
it's treated
convention.
like a caucus in a way.
It's
treated like a caucus where if your candidate's not in the top 4, you move to the next, you move to one of those top 4.
Yeah.
And then so on and so forth. I was going to pull this up.
Yeah. That's interesting. Because I'm thinking, and it's just, I'm having a hard time seeing, if Sanders wins South Carolina, I have a hard time seeing anyone catching him. Because it's just going to be like, I feel like that's going to be one of the more, not, I guess the word you used was establishment, maybe centrist, I guess, is not a very progressive state. It's a lot more centrist. And so if Sanders can even pick up states where that's the reality, where the reality is it's not even momentum in his favor.
Yeah.
I think going into Super Tuesday, people see that. They're like, okay, he won the majority of, even though he didn't win the delegates, he won the majority of votes in Iowa, which was important to them. They wanted to make sure that everybody realized, okay, yeah, we didn't win all of every single county that we needed to win, but we won the majority of votes. Kind of that popular vote mentality. And then they went in and did the exact same thing in New Hampshire and Nevada, and that resulted in them picking up the most delegates in those 2.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at Morning Consult right here. Now, this data is from before this past weekend, before the Nevada results.
Is it before that? Is it after or before the debate?
It was from the 17th, so it was from the week before. The debate happened later in the week, right? Yeah. So this was before that debate where Bloomberg took a slugging. But look at how fast he's risen. I mean, this is just visually. Yes, Sanders continues to go up. Biden is just falling off the face of the planet. But filling the void is Bloomberg in the polling. So I bet when the brakes are going to pump a little bit on Bloomberg after that debate and after the Nevada results, where Sanders looks like the clear favorite. His momentum might just carry him. I wouldn't be surprised.
I hear Tom Steyer's trying to make a run for South Carolina, but we'll see how that ends up panning out. I mean, another billionaire individual that's trying to play the centrist card and trying to pick up those votes. I got to be honest with you. Is there any world where the centrist candidates that are claiming that middle lane, where they beat up on each other and Sanders sneaks out the win because all the rest of the votes are.
I mean, it's already happening.
Okay.
I mean, if Buttigieg, Biden, and Klobuchar, and I guess you can throw in Gabbard and Steyer. I mean, does Steyer have any delegates at all?
Oh, no, you mean delegates. Sorry.
Right.
No,
if Klobuchar, Biden, and Buttigieg combined everyone into one nominee, they're level with Sanders right now. And that's in Sanders-friendly states. So it's like the fact that Buttigieg is doing well and that people think that that's not sustainable, that in itself is them killing each other, because Biden and Buttigieg competing against each other are just – they'll never reach Sanders, where Sanders is picking up half of the Democratic Party, and then those two are splitting the rest of the half. Anyway.
Yeah, I guess we'll just have to see.
Yeah, and Klobuchar, I mean, she doesn't even have a shot.
No,
there's no reason for her to be in this race anymore.
Yang dropped out after New Hampshire. Warren's going to struggle. I just don't see her picking up enough delegates.
The thing
Maybe
is
Super Tuesday. After Super Tuesday is when we're going to know. Everything's going to get sifted out.
I mean, Warren does have that, like...
California, maybe?
No. Well, maybe, but the Oklahoma, Texas kind of. I think she's from there. She's got kind of a southern draw, but see, that's the way I think of things almost more. I just think of how the common voter sees things.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't know. I mean, I think Warren's competing for Sanders votes, so that's a losing battle.
Yeah.
We got to move on.
I think she's trying to move into the middle lane, but yeah, we'll move on and. That's
just us on our
recover that.
For 5-10 minutes.
Yeah. Right, so you said Biden. I'm gonna say Sanders, and then he's just gonna pick up a ton of momentum. We'll see what happens with Bloomberg after that, but I'm gonna say Sanders since you said Biden. Alrighty. Last story going in. We have. I guess it's gonna be our funny story, our funny Bing story of the. We'll talk about our funny Bing story of the week.
Oh yeah, I got that one right here.
Okay, I will say this sounds bad, but it's got a happy ending.
It's got a good ending, I think.
Yeah, the only reason it's funny is because of the good ending. Otherwise, it'd be kind of sad. But blind, deaf senior dog taken by hawk.
I've never. First of all, that's not the end of the headline.
Yeah.
But I've never heard of a dog referred to as a senior. That's like a human is a senior.
Yeah.
Senior citizen.
Well, how old is it? That's the real question.
I don't know. If it's blind and deaf, it must be old, right?
16 years old. What? 6.5 pound blind deaf poodle. Plenty of fight left in it.
Okay. Finish the headline.
It got blind deaf
senior
poodle,
dog taken by hawk.
Survives the attack in freezing temperatures. And reunited with its owner. Oh, that's a precious ending to that story. So I'm just looking at it real quick. Well, I won't spend too much time on it, but
how did a hawk
10-degree weather for 28 hours? How did this that's a good question.
I'm just thinking, like, you know how these dogs are basically rats nowadays?
Yeah.
You know, these chihuahuas and stuff, like these little tiny pet poodles.
Baby dogs.
Toy dogs. You know, at a certain point, you kind of get what you deserve. I mean, you get what you've been asking for. No, but you're asking for it, though.
What do you deserve?
A hawk needs to eat, too.
Hey, you got to keep an eye on your blind, deaf dog screwing around in the backyard.
But also, just like a dog that small and that yippy.
This is what the owner said.
Talons is where it belongs.
How she got away, I have no idea. How she survived it, I will never know. But I know one thing. By the grace of God, this dog is still alive.
By the grace of God. Oh man, that's theologically deep right there.
That is a perfect way to sum up.
You know what's so funny about this? This dog's gonna be dead in a year.
Oh. Dude, you are dark.
I'm just saying.
Oh man.
I think it's strange how these owners get so carried away. But anyway, I am glad that Portia, that's the name of the dog.
The name
Portia is home safely. I think it's pretty remarkable. How do you get picked up by a hawk and carried away in freezing temperature? You're blind and deaf, and you get found your way home. Temperature's below freezing. Who even knows how you got back on the ground? Like the hawk dropped you from how high up? All right, we got to move on to sports,
man.
right?
Yeah, we're going to move on to sports here. But dang, what a good ending to that story.
Okay.
Alrighty. We are doing This Week in Sports. So, this week in sports, I guess we'll start
Bucks.
off.
Bucks.
You want to start off with Bucks? Bucks. Actually, not that kind of chant, because that sounds more like baseball. But NBA, the Bucks.
What are the Bucks in baseball? The Pirates? Pittsburgh Pirates? No, the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yes, the Milwaukee Bucks.
They
clinched
the playoffs.
Don't talk about the playoffs. The playoffs? Actually, pretty astonishing. They clinched the playoffs in 48 games.
4-2?
This is something else. This is
way
earlier in the season. They clinched the playoffs with only 58 games under their belt, which is particularly early because
that's fantastic.
Oh, they're playing right now, funny enough.
It's been a fantastic season for
crushing
them.
it.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, they are really crushing. I just saw a headline, actually. I was just reading through, and the headline said the Bucks coach gets bored on the sideline because they beat their opponent so badly. So,
what?
I just read this. I'm not even kidding. Here we go. No, that's not it.
All right, how about this? Bucks Lakers finals. Yes, no, maybe. I don't know. Can you repeat the question? What do you think?
I can say yeah. I could say that's a decent bet. Can you go to the western side of the conference? I just wanted to see who's up there. Yeah, I could see. Definitely a Lakers.
Dude, the Nuggets aren't going away.
How about the Rockies?
You know
By
what?
Rockies, I mean Rockets.
Do you think that guy can knock off LeBron James?
LeBron James.
No. What's the guy that
I don't know, man.
plays for the Clippers? Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah.
You know his laugh? Hold on, I gotta play his laugh now.
All right, pull it up. But Bucks kicking butt out there. So
Who's
shout
on
out
the
to the
team?
Bucks
Giannis?
for crushing it right now. Wait, for whom?
Giannis is the Bucks player. He's their best player.
I cannot pronounce his name. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Giannis.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, his first name. I was looking for the last name, Giannis. I don't watch a lot of NBA, if you guys can't tell.
Makumbo or something like that.
Yeah, he crushes it. Right now, they are beating the Wizards
We need
by 10 with 10 minutes left. Actually, a lot of time left in that game.
We need a Joe Rogan guy
Yeah.
to play this stuff for us.
I'm a fun guy. Obviously, I love the game of basketball.
I'm a fun guy.
I mean, it's just more questions you have to ask me in order for me to tell you about myself. I just can't give you a whole spiel. I don't even know where you're sitting at.
That's his laugh right there. That's a Kawhi laugh.
Yeah,
All right, anyway,
Kawhi Leonard.
I had to play that. All right, what else in sports?
I guess we'll just skip right on through to
Spring training
kicking off for the MLB. I don't know. Have you seen any of those games?
Well, I watched my home team play.
Yeah? Who'd they play?
They played the team.
The team. Wow.
No, the Rays and Yankees were playing.
That's right. Yeah.
And the Rays won 9-7. It was a pretty back and forth game. You know, everyone's playing their backups and stuff. But anyway, it's exciting. Baseball's coming. All right, what else?
Damn, you're zooming through. What's it called today?
EPL.
I guess next is EPL. Do we want to talk about EPL right now?
I feel like I missed a week because I was out of town.
Oh, we definitely missed a week because you were out of town. But that's okay because we've always got games, and there's actually a couple of really good ones coming up this week.
Manchester City is playing Arsenal.
But
how come we don't have that one?
No, I was reading that earlier. It's getting delayed, postponed. Time to be determined. Well, I would have picked that one if I
Man
thought
City-
that if I had any reason to believe that they were going to play that game before our next podcast, because we can just do that next week, and that's a good game to pick for next week. Unless you want to do a pick for that, we could always do a pick for that too.
That's going to be a good one. Everton, Man United. What happened with the
Tottenham
standings
Wolves? There's a lot of
I saw Tottenham lost to Chelsea, which was a huge match. Man United slipped ahead to number 5. Sheffield drew, so they're level with Tottenham now.
yeah.
Wolves are 1 point behind, and Arsenal is 3 points behind Tottenham.
Yeah.
So Tottenham's 1 behind 5th. United's 3 behind Chelsea. It's an interesting 5. Actually, it's an interesting 4 through 9 right now.
Yeah. So Champions League slot is 4th place and higher.
5th place. Wow.
Well, oh yeah, that's right, yeah.
With City.
Well, now with City getting knocked off, that's right.
Unless they appeal that, but as it stands right now, number 5 is going to get Champions League spot, and 6 is going to get Europa.
Yeah, and number 5 is sitting Man United. Number 6 is Tottenham right now. But like you said, Man United is only 1 point ahead of Tottenham with 10 games left in the season still, and maybe 11, including this week.
Yeah.
And as far as I can tell, you could go down to Southampton.
Yeah.
And Southampton's still pretty much in it.
Southampton is only
at 34 points.
Is only 2 matches, 6 points behind Tottenham.
2 wins away from being right up in there. And even Crystal Palace, you could even make a pretty decent argument for. I think too much lower than that, it's asking a lot. But if these bottom table teams, you're asking a lot. But if they could start winning out here at the end of the season, if they don't have a particularly hard schedule coming up, no.
They have a chance to not get relegated.
Norwich City pull out and not get relegated at 18.
It's over for them.
Dude.
They're relegated already.
Yeah, they have 10 games to get up to.
I think West Ham.
Aston Villa is their best bet of getting out of there.
Oof.
Who's at 25 right now?
I think that Bournemouth and lower are fighting relegation right now.
Yeah.
Bournemouth is a poor team. I have no idea how they have 26 points. I think West Ham's going to claw out, and it's going to be between Bournemouth and Aston
What
Villa.
about Watford? Watford and West Ham are in the same spot right now.
Watford could come out of it, but
Watford lets a lot of points go. Wow.
Dude, they have Delafeu and
Aston
Deeney.
Villa lets a lot of points go. How are they 17?
Let's stop talking about this. It's making me sick. All right.
I guess what I want to mention this just because it was a cool little nifty story. But,
I got it right here.
And I think we got to give the shout out to them. But the Hurricanes. So I don't know what the context was and who was playing who. So maybe you can fill us in on that.
Well, Carolina, I think Hurricanes were playing Toronto Maple Leafs.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what it is? Carolina Hurricanes?
Yeah.
So, yeah, they were playing and they had 2 goalies. I guess one was injured and the other one got injured in the game. So they had to pull out their emergency goalie. And this is why I love the NHL. Because some random guy that's like a maintenance, some guy that sweeps the floors can just come out in the middle of a game. It's like, you guys don't have a roster depth?
Yeah. Well, they had gone through 2 guys to get injured. How many goalies are you planning? Are you going to plan out?
But you
what
can't
percent
stick
of the time?
Okay, but hold on. There's not someone else on the bench who plays like defenseman or something that can't put the pads on to be a better goalie than some random Zamboni driver? Dude, this guy was a maintenance guy.
Aries, who works as the Zamboni driver for the Toronto Marlies of the American Hockey League. So it's like the league a couple of leagues below. Was forced into action midway through the second period.
42 years old.
42, yeah, that's the big stunner, I think. He was 42 years old. He wasn't a particularly young guy out there taking shots. And apparently he let, when he had his first, face-off or whatever, he let one go, and then he got really into his thing, and they ended up...
Well, yeah, they were up 3. Yeah, they were up 3-1. He stopped 8 of 10 shots. So I guess they must have scored also to win. Because it looks like he gave up 2 goals. But he stopped 8 of 10 shots.
Unless one of those was, because I thought that they. Oh yeah, he did 6-3 victory. Wow. Okay, we'll give it to the offense there for putting up an extra 3 points when they didn't have a particularly
I was
strong.
thinking, don't embarrass yourself.
Yeah, he let 2 goals go, but dude, good for him. 42 years old and out there playing hockey with a National Hockey League team. That's incredible. That's a heartwarming story right there.
Wow. Okay. Keep it rolling.
We'll keep it going.
Dick's picks. Captain's log.
Are we there yet? Yeah, I guess we are.
All right.
So we're going to roll right into our picks for the week. So we had a lot to talk about, I guess. I think in honor of the Bucks making it, let me first. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over what we're gonna pick, and then we can review last week's picks, and then we can make the picks on the things that I tell you. Anyway, so in honor of the Bucks making it to the playoffs, we'll do a Bucks game. They play the Raptors on Tuesday, so we'll do that tomorrow. They play the Raptors tomorrow, so we'll do that. That's a top of the heap kind of game there. We're gonna do Tottenham in the EPL. We're gonna do Tottenham hosting the Wolves because they're only about 3 points separated from each other on the table. It's a pretty tight table.
About.
Yep. And we're gonna do
fighting for Europe.
We're gonna do Everton versus Man United. Everton hosting Man United.
Should be a good match.
Yeah, that should be a decent match. Everton's a little lower on the table, but again, they're one of those teams that are in the hunt, kind of sitting in a spot where they might be able to sneak up to the top of the table there.
They play well at home, I think. They got a decent park.
Yeah, and they're at home, so don't sleep on them. And then, as the last game, we will do the St. Louis Blues versus the Dallas Stars, NHL, in honor of our man Aries there.
David,
I
think.
What's his name? David
Aries.
Oh, David Aries.
Oh, Dave
Ayres. It's not Aries? Ayres? Anyway, in honor of him, we're going to do a St. Louis Blues versus Dallas Stars game. That game's on February 29th. I think that's a Saturday, so that'll be this weekend. And I guess with that, we'll kind of look back on what we did last week. That way we can kind of feel out how good we are at picking certain sports, and then we can determine whether or not we're going to want to go the same direction that we went last week. So I think you have the numbers on what we made picks last week. So let's start with EPL games, and then any soccer games, and then we'll go into our NBA games.
EPL is soccer, right?
Yeah, but EPL first, but then any other soccer games.
Okay, Champions League. All right, so Chelsea, Tottenham. You picked Tottenham by 1. I picked a draw. This was at Chelsea, by the way. So those were ambitious. Those were 2 ambitious picks.
Yeah, pretty ambitious.
Chelsea ended up winning by 1, so neither of us were right.
Not surprising though, to be honest. I think that I was a little bit overzealous with picking Tottenham because I'm just kind of like them. But I mean, were you surprised by the outcome?
No, not at all. I thought that was dead on. I mean, my numbers were saying draw, but it was leaning either draw or Chelsea win. It definitely wasn't leaning Tottenham win. So
yeah.
Leicester, Manchester City. You picked Manchester City to win by 1. I picked Manchester City by 1. Everyone picked Manchester City to win by 1.
And
Manchester City won by 1.
I was
trying to spoof Oprah there, but
yeah.
yeah, we nailed it. Both nailed it on the head.
Excellent.
City had some drama and they took care of business away at Leicester.
Good for them.
Atletico Madrid and Liverpool in the first knockout stage games we're having in the Champions League. Very exciting.
Yeah.
And this was the big talk of the European football over the week, I think.
And why was that?
Because Liverpool lost.
Whoa!
Which is impossible.
I was trying to set you that.
Impossible.
I laid it up there for you to come smack it down.
So you picked you picked Liverpool. Oh no, I think I put this backwards.
Yeah,
you picked
I definitely
Liverpool
picked
by
Liverpool
2.
by 2.
And then I picked Liverpool by 1. Captain picked Liverpool by 1. Dick picked Liverpool by 2. And then Atletico Madrid actually won by 1.
Yeah. I think what's more important about that game, and I guess we can have a short discussion on this, is the fact that they didn't just win by 1, they only scored 1. So Liverpool didn't end up scoring any away goals.
They held the Liverpool scoreless. That's the best thing you can do when you're at home because you give the opponent 0 away goals. So any away goal you get, you're going to have the advantage. Even if you lose by 1 away, if you get an away goal, you end up winning on aggregate away goals. So that's the best 1-goal result you can get is a deadlock. And if you looked at the game, Liverpool had 75% possession. So Atletico did exactly what I thought they would exactly what I thought they would do, which is they sit back, they absorbed all the pressure, and then they just caught a couple counterattack opportunities. It looks like I didn't watch the game, but
I didn't watch the game either. But I saw that they scored really early, so they caught them on their heels early, and then Liverpool was kind of playing from behind, and then just probably sit back and kind of
Put everyone behind the ball. And
yeah.
Hope you can
play that pressure. Play it right in front of the goal.
Because what do you have to lose? You're playing Liverpool at home.
Yeah.
So
now Liverpool's got to for the second leg, got to take it back home,
which they certainly can do.
Yeah, and they got to win. They got to win by they either got to win 1-0 so they can go into PKs, or they just got to win big.
Yeah.
2+ points.
All right, so Rockets, Jazz, NBA, a little bit of basketball here. Looks like we love the Jazz, right? Because we picked them 2 weeks in a row for picks.
That was just because they were the best. They had a really good matchups that week. So
Yeah, you picked Jazz by 5. Dick did. Captain picked Rockets by 2, and the Rockets ended up winning by 10. So
wow.
Yeah, I got the Rockets.
You were
on
better
that one.
on the pick, but the score differential by 10. Wow, that's pretty impressive. Jazz at home, no less. Dang.
I think
Kind of crappy.
All right, so
not particularly good week for us. I mean, Liverpool kind of screwed it up on that, but that's not a big deal.
All right, so we already went over what we're doing this week, right?
Yeah. So let's start. I guess we'll start with the Bucks Raptors game because we'll get that one NBA game out of the way. Do you want to go first?
Sure, I'll go first. For Bucks Raptors, now you're gonna burn me over the coals with this one.
Yeah.
Or burn me at the stake, whatever it is. I'm picking the Raptors by 4.
Wow. At Raptors by 4. I mean, it's not like a horrible pick, but
look at this. They're in a little bit of a draw
the
here.
Wizards are coming out. The Wizards came smacked around the Bucks at the end of the fourth.
See, the Bucks, they clinched the playoffs. They're going to take the foot off the gas a little tiny bit. They're going to be away from home. That's why I'm picking Rockets. Not Rockets, Raptors.
Yeah. This game's not until Saturday, though, so I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. They're going to kind of get a little too high on their horse, and then they're going to realize, okay, we actually need to keep the foot on the pedal on the metal, or pedal to the metal. And the Bucks are going to come out and win by 7 against the Raptors.
All right, not a bad pick.
Yeah. Bucks by 7. Alrighty, into EPL.
Go for it.
I'll go for my first pick. Tottenham Wolves. I'm going to say Tottenham Wolves draw. Tottenham draws at home.
I was so close to picking a draw. But I picked so many draws in the last couple weeks, I just couldn't do it. And I just picked what my spreadsheet was leaning towards.
What was your spreadsheet leaning towards then?
Which is a Tottenham win by 1.
Oh.
My sheet actually was telling me to pick a draw, but I just couldn't. I had to go with Tottenham winning by 1. It was leaning more towards Tottenham than it was.
We have had a number of draws though on this podcast, so it wouldn't be the worst pick.
Yeah.
Alrighty, Everton, Man U. I guess I'll go again. I'm saying Man United away wins by 1.
All right. That is a classic pick. I actually picked the same exact thing. Manchester United away win by 1.
Yeah, they're a little bit of the stronger team. I think that Everton at home could maybe post up a draw. I don't necessarily see them winning, although I wouldn't put it past them.
This is another one that my sheet was really telling me to put a draw, but I ended up siding on the United side.
Yeah.
So I could see a draw too here.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. Alrighty, last but not least, the NHL, where we have the Blues playing the Dallas at.
The champion Blues.
Is it at Dallas or is it versus?
It's at Dallas.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. Hold on. I think it's actually at the Blues.
Well, it's at one of them too. Anyway, while you're figuring that out, because I don't think it's going to have any weighing on whether or not I'm going to pick the team I'm going to pick to win. I am picking the Blues to win by 2. And I'm thinking it's at Dallas, and I still think that they're going to pull out
it is at Dallas.
a win by 2. But I don't have a lot of stake in either of those teams. I don't really know a lot of what's going on. I know that the Blues.
Wait.
Oh, it is at the
Blues.
Blues. Oh, okay. So that only strengthens my resolve that the Blues are going to win, and by 2.
All right. I also have the Blues winning by 2.
Dude, are you reading my sheet or something like that? You're picked the exact same thing as me.
No, we're just picking the
exactly back to back.
Did you know these two teams played a couple nights ago?
Yes, I did see that. Yeah.
And the Blues won by 4 or something.
Yeah, they won by a lot. But I don't think they're going to do that twice. I think that there might have been a rest thing or something there. I don't want to read too much into it.
All right.
But so that's Dick's picks and Captain's log.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, let's move to the market.
Right into the market. We're going to go in pretty quick here. and just start right off the bat, and I'm going to list off exactly what happened last week.
Well, yeah, let's just go over the vitals. Where's
Yeah.
the S&P? Where's the Dow? And where's the NASDAQ?
Yeah, so as you know, today was not a particularly good day in the market. NASDAQ was down 3.7% today, 4.4% in the last week. S&P 500 down 3.4% today, 3.9% in the last week. And Dow Industrials down 3.6% in the day and 4.3% in the last week. So, I mean, credit to the market for not, taking a huge hit over the last week, because it was a pretty big hit over the last week, but most of it was in today upon news of coronavirus and other things. So
I'm pretty sure it was down Thursday and Friday, but not as bad.
Mm-hmm.
And then it all piled up on today.
Yeah, you're 100% correct about that. But a lot of it was because it was coming out of the weekend, 2 days of just sitting on it and mulling it over. So yeah, not looking particularly good. I guess we'll go right in and talk about what our picks were from last week too.
Most people are saying it's because of the coronavirus.
Yeah.
Any worries that this is a long-term thing, that the coronavirus is just covering up? Like, people are using the coronavirus as a scapegoat, but it's really something deeper?
I think that there's always that kind of thought. We've been going for so long without a recession on the global level. Like, it's been over 10 years now.
Well, maybe not a recession, but, like a bull. I mean, it's a bear kind of like a 3-month stretch or something. We had a 3-month stretch last year. We had a 3-month stretch at the end of 2018.
I mean, I don't have any reason to believe that this is going to be a particularly bad. I mean, I don't know. There's been pretty strong, rapid growth, but this. I mean, it leveled off by the end of the day. I mean, I think the reaction that was going to happen happened.
Okay. So you're a coronavirus.
Yeah. Anyway, so last week we had a couple of picks. I had Immunogen, a medicinal company. I know, like a research company. IMGN on the ticker. I don't know what I was thinking, but I was like, yeah, with this whole coronavirus thing, I'm thinking it's a medical-oriented company. This is our opportunity. And it was up. It was soaring sky high when I was talking about it. And since then, IMGN dropped 24.9%. So it beat the rate at which the rest of the market was dropping. So it was...
Beat as in it was worse then?
Oh, yeah, in a bad way. Beat in a bad way. You don't want to have...
Oh, no, it didn't just beat. It was horrible.
Yeah, it crushed them, yeah.
No.
Yeah, it did a great...
Stop being confusing.
It did a great job of being awful.
It was horrible. It was a horrible pick.
Yeah, that was a really bad pick. Luckily, it was only it was a pretty low value.
But you're gonna get blindsided. It's not a proven stock by any means.
Yeah. No, I didn't have any real data going in behind that pick. Like I said, a lot of my picks are by feel, and I don't know. It just was something that I was kind of hyped up on because I had only had 1 or 2 shares, so I had really low risk. I wasn't even involved in the stock that much, so it didn't matter that I was gonna pick something off-putting or whatever.
All right. Well, my pick from last week was Edwards Lifesciences. It was a more long-term type performer. It was in a down stretch, so I thought it would pop back up. It went down 1.2% over the last week, so it was
relative.
It did better than the market, better than the S&P, by a good amount, considering how bad things have been. So
if you had money in what's it called?
Edwards Lifesciences.
Yeah, then your losses were mitigated by a lot.
Yep, especially in the first couple days of the last week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Popping up.
I was saying that earlier, that if you had bought it Tuesday morning after our podcast dropped, the stock jumped and 2.5% something like that that next morning. So
Yep.
So that was a pretty solid jump.
All right, so this week we need Richard's hot take.
Yeah, so I guess, and then what is it? Kurt's
big pick.
Kurt's big pick. Yeah, I'm gonna.
By the way, if you have any recommendations, guys, anyone for a segment name for that?
Yeah, we don't have anything going.
We're using the most generic thing.
We have Dick's Picks and Captain's Law.
We need
which
some
is
help.
Solid. Yeah,
we need to get some consultants in here.
You gotta put down in the comments what are we gonna name our hot take and what was yours? Big pick.
Big pick. Kurt's big pick.
Our stock picks for the week. Alrighty, my stock pick peak. My stock pick for the week is the ticker number or whatever it's called is O. It's just the letter O, and it's Realty Income Corporation. The reason I'm picking it is because I was looking online for some stock that pays dividends. I didn't see too much about this, but according to the history, this looked.
It's called a ticker symbol, by the way.
Oh, ticker symbol, not ticker number.
You've asked this 2 weeks in a row now, so I thought I would just make sure we know.
Yeah. I say ticker number. I don't know why. Anyway, I'm pretty sure it pays dividends, and when I looked at it in the past week, it actually grew by a couple of dollars. It's trading at $82 a share.
Oh wow!
It was up from.
That's a really good week.
Yeah, up from $80 a share.
That
so it's
is
like
a really good week.
What was it? 3% growth or something like that.
It had
2.2% growth in the last week. And in just today, when we saw the market dip 3.5%, it only is down 0.33%. And I looked back at it historically, and it's performed admirably for the last, since 1994. So
you're going way back in the archives.
Yeah. I mean,
people want to know how's it gonna do in the next week.
I'm saying hang on. This is a long term. I'm not saying in the next week anything. I'm saying long term. Hang in there.
All right.
And it pays dividends monthly. So you just stick to it, and you're gonna earn a lot of money slowly but surely.
All right. Well, I'm gonna pick what's gonna do good in the next week.
Okay, so what's doing good? You're always doing the long term picks. So what's this?
Yeah, but I pick long term ones that I think are gonna do well in the next week.
Oh, okay.
Based on where they are right now.
Well, I mean, certainly this one will do fine in the next week. It only dropped 0.3%, or it actually grew.
Yeah, if you had gotten it last week, you'd be way better than the market.
Yeah. You'd be in a great spot. Anyway.
All right, mine is ROAD. ROAD is this ticker symbol.
Excellent. Big money.
It's a construction company.
Ah.
I guess they build roads and stuff.
Oh, you don't say.
But it's also up in the last week.
What's the company called?
Construction Partners.
Oh, is it just like is that an actual company name?
Hold on. Let me look it up. Construction Partners Incorporated.
Ah.
Yeah, their symbol is ROAD, and they're up 1.2% in the last week. They've had a pretty good, they're up 48% in the last year. They're kind of a recent IPO.
Oh, okay.
But I just think that the type of work they do is not as affected by the coronavirus stuff and the general economy with the tech stocks and everything. They're just like not a commodity, definitely not a commodity stock, but a different industry. They're an industry stock.
Oh, yeah, for
instead
sure.
of a tech stock.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That's a good way to...
So it's something that can keep the other losses at bay, in the meantime, if you want to diversify something like that.
Yeah, I kind of like that idea. It's like that construction industry is something to get into.
Yeah, I think that construction is doing really well right now because, the housing, we're in kind of sort of a housing boom and et cetera. Mm-hmm. Things are densifying all over the place.
For sure.
Urbanizing.
Anyway. There's a lot of infrastructure spending. There's a lot of that good stuff going on, federally and locally and statewide.
Yeah, so that's the big pick and the hot take for the week.
Yeah, big pick, hot take. Alrighty.
That's the end of the agenda.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't have any other thoughts. Do you? Do you have any thoughts? Some parting wisdom before I sum up what we've done today?
No, just wisdom.
Yeah, any parting wisdom for the people listening? You got something to say?
You gotta trust.
Make sure you double knot your shoes if you're gonna go on a long run.
You have to trust the trends. The trends are king.
Trust the trends. TT. Trust the trends. Alrighty.
Well, thanks, Richard, for kind of taking the lead this week.
Yeah. I think that was a little fun. Maybe we'll mix it up a little bit more often here. But quick recap. I'm gonna do a little quick recap here. We talked about coronavirus, how it hit the market a little bit heavy. Keep an eye on what's going on. Hopefully slowing down a little bit, not too bad. We had Nevada caucuses, South Carolina coming up, and then Super Tuesday soon after that. Keep a look on the horizon for MLB, going to start pretty soon. EPL Week 28, we got our picks in with Tottenham and Everton.
It's coming down.
Yeah. It's
There's only 36 weeks, right?
Yeah, only a couple weeks left here. Bucks in the playoffs, stock market, and shout out to our man Hawk Poodle that made it out alive,
Porsche.
and Dave Aries.
Oh, Dave Ayers.
Yeah, 42-year-old man getting out there and doing all the good stuff.
Don't you just always wish that was you someday?
Eventually, it might be.
Like, that's just a great story to tell all your kin. Well, anyway, that's going to wrap it up for this week, right? All right, well, like, comment, subscribe, share, let us know your thoughts. Also, make your own picks, comment them down below, and we'll see how they compare to ours over the next week. Or, I always say that wrong. We'll see how they compare to ours next week, right?
Next week, yeah.
Yeah, we'll take a look.
Yeah.
In fact, we'll be looking. Yeah, we'll look in the comments, see how they do.
They better. Well, if anyone will ever comment.
That's true.
But definitely like, share, and subscribe.
Because we're always reviewing our picks. Yes, and with that, this has been Short End of the Pick with Richard and Kurt. We'll see you guys next time. Until then.